Lincoln Park just got a Scientologist as a frontman. I mean, woman.
Wow. What just happened?
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Black Sea Theory. Today is the 4th of September 2024, and toop tap now we are like heading towards the end of 2024, and I'm pretty shit scared about it, like, because I feel I'm getting older and older. Not that it's like a bad thing or what. Being old is quite good as well, actually. You become more wiser a bit.
He's saying it because I'm here, so.
We are all old, I guess lah.
Oh, come on, man.
I think we got two fathers here, except for me. So yeah, I think more or less like that. And then today we actually, if this is your first time watching this podcast, or if you've been following us, this is the Black Sea Theory. And if you have followed us, thank you. If you're not, we'll put the links, or we'll put the things below there. You can just follow us and your subscription.
At our socials.
Yeah, your subscription, your whatever that you do will be really helpful. It helps us to grow further and further. We can do more episodes. And without further ado, let's introduce our guest for today, tonight, not today. Sebab hari ni kita record malam. Okay, so
Malam Seram.
Malam Seram pula.
That would be a good title.
I think there is one, I guess, like that. So here we are with, I would say, a long-time friend of mine, and I think what started from a Lawyat forum punya conversation, I think many years ago. I don't know, just randomly, we just communicated via Lawyat, and then I said like, hey, let's meet, and he said, hey, let's meet. And then I think we first met at Bukit Bintang, if I'm not mistaken. We sat at one place, and then we were talking about movies and whatnot. My memories, I think I'm trying to jog that memory of me meeting you. And here's Rashidi.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
How's it been? I mean, especially after a while. I think after that meeting, and then we haven't met for some time, and then
you ghosted me.
Ghosted you.
Me, kind of thing.
Yeah, I ghosted because of that movie project. And
was it really a movie project? Was that the topic that we started off with?
I think so. So I remember we started talking about movies, and then one thing led to the other, and then
So you all wanted to make a movie.
Yeah.
What kind of movie actually?
I think it was me. Was it me who approached you? I don't know. I have no.
I can't remember.
But I think I wanted to create a series of short film. Basically, that was the plan, and diversity was part of my objective. My objective at the moment, at that particular time, and this guy, Vicky, was hanging around in that topic or that subject matter or in that forum, and then we kind of like go back and forth a little bit by DMs and whatnot. That back then kita panggil apa? I don't know. Private message.
So
PM.
Discussing diversity in Lawyat forum.
Oh yeah. I don't know. I think it's pretty diverse kind of setup. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
And then one thing led to another. Like we had that meetup, and things never really took off.
Yeah, right after that.
I don't know.
I ghosted you ke? You ghosted I ke? Tak tahu. But
I don't know. I think we just went on our separate ways because of commitment and focus on.
But did you ever manage to do any kind of short films? I mean, without him? Or?
I did. Eventually, it becomes some sort of my I think it was my path towards my career, and basically changes my life altogether. Basically, I think so. If I'm not wrong about my own history. I don't know. But then again, we never really get this opportunity to do that. So, well, we should revisit that.
I think so, because you wanted me konon udah jadikan macam hero kan.
I believe so, because at that time you had that, I don't know,
Jambang
and whatnot. Yeah, you look like a pretty solid guy.
Oh, okay. Oh, no, sorry lah. Okay, tak apalah. I know lah tangan I tengah luka ni, tapi tangan.
I don't know, man. But yeah, that was the idea. But again, I think it was diversity. Yeah, it was devastating.
I remember,
If I
I
can
think-
look into, sorry, if
Yeah, go
I
ahead.
can look into that screenplay that I wrote back then, I would definitely like probably like revisit that project very very soon again, because that was pretty interesting now, because it triggers me to like approach people outside of my comfort, because I'm pretty I would say I'm a bit shy most of the time. I'm a bit awkward or introverted basically.
We all are.
We all think that we are, but sometimes based on
yeah.
the job and on the circle that
You're
we are
forced to
wearing,
evolve, yeah.
we're forced to get out of our comfort zone. So that was one moment, because I don't really know this guy, I don't really know you, and then I decided just, oh, let's go.
So from the short films, did you have an aim to make full feature films or just
There's always
Yeah.
there was always like a dream. It should be a dream still, but I'm pretty far from that at the moment. I don't know.
Understandable.
I don't think I'm gonna get there
Maybe you can try
anytime
again.
soon.
Mm,
Anytime
you
soon.
can try back again, right?
Of course I will.
But I remember back then you had that idea of, I'm trying to recollect back. You said something about creating a story where you can cater to the masses, meaning to say that it's more acceptable for the majority of the people in this country, and then using a character or a skin of someone who's not a majority. I think something like that. That you were figuring something out like that, then.
Yeah, I think because based on my references back then, I think, even still, based on a lot of these Hollywood movies and seeing how they use diversity, but nowadays they
It's a
tend
bit
to
abused now,
a bit too much, and then with this wokeness happening all around us, it's just getting more and more weird.
Yeah.
But back then, I think the saturation, if I'm using the word correctly, in film industry in Malaysia especially, is very very saturated in terms of how you target your audience. And then I would suggest asyik cerita Melayu yang very Malay oriented. So I get annoyed, not bored, but annoyed to the point that I think, this is not
Why?
even me.
I mean,
I don't even speak like that.
Is it because it doesn't? Yeah, okay.
So I wanted to have some sort of like diversity. That's the point, because sometimes kalau kita
Malaysian movie per se,
a Malaysian movie, but then afterwards I think there's a few how should I say? I think key directors or prolific directors, like even the late Yasmin.
Yasmin Ahmad.
Yasmin. So she kind of like in really, I think, in my mind, in my eyes, I think she pioneered the Malaysian movie kind of approach in my mind, in my opinion. But yeah, the rest of us or the rest of the studio never really picked that up. And eventually it just become just like what it is right now. I think the latest film, whatever that there are out there, is still very much targeted towards
a certain
a
demography.
certain, I would just say Malay lah.
Right.
Because
But do you,
it is what it is. I don't know.
But do you think the overall Malaysian filming industry is heading towards somewhere good, or do you think there could be more that we
think-
can do lah?
There's always like a breakthrough kind of movie or film. I think if we go back through the years, I think we saw some like the first CGI action film like Cicak Man, and then the action film like Merong Mahawangsa was there. They kind of like blockbuster kind of thing. And then we had this few years back with Mat Kilau, touching on a very historical kind of subject matter, and I think it was about to go towards the right path. But now, again, I think our society, our culture has always been very, very critical about our own approach or effort to get out of our comfort zone, out of shell. Basically, it goes back inwards instead of like trying and to explore more and more.
So
I'd
it's
say
more of a
openness to it.
reception problem. I mean, the crowd reception problem. Or?
At the end of the day, it's a business. I understand.
of course.
I understand why they make those decisions, because they wanted to make money and
appeal to
yeah.
those who want it. Yeah.
Because to appeal to others demographic, like especially the two other main race that we have here in Malaysia is like Indian and Chinese community is pretty much they haven't found the formula yet, I think.
No.
I think so. Let's just play safe and
true.
just target this 50% of population or whatever percentage we are right now. I don't know, but and make some money out of that.
Financially, it makes sense.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Because like I said, I think at the end of the day, it's just business.
Yeah.
We can't really take it too personally or feeling like this is an agenda or whatnot. I don't think so. Well,
Yeah.
that's my opinion. I don't know.
But what do you think about those like recent local movies? Like, if I'm not mistaken, you can see some of them on Netflix.
On Netflix, yeah.
Like Tiger Stripes, for example. I'm just throwing one movie.
I don't even know what movie is that.
Oh, you don't
Tiger
know,
Strike?
Oh, that's
I don't
why.
know.
There was one movie about the fighter pilots thing, right?
Air Force?
Yeah, Air Force. Yeah.
Air Force, yeah. My friend worked on that visual effects kind of work. He was part of the team, and I actually spoke to one of the visual effects director. I think he's a Chinese guy. I spoke to him because I wanted to collaborate with the launch of the movie. I wanted to do that, but it never happened anyway. But in my opinion, those are people gonna hate me. People from the industry are gonna hate me. I think they. You know what? They try to make film out of their own capacity. If you I just give you an example. If you have 1 million ringgit, why would you want to make a movie that supposedly cost you 100 million ringgit or even 10 million ringgits? Because you wouldn't be able to achieve
Recoup
the
that, yeah.
the
cost.
effect that you wanted and the quality of the cast and the crew. I'm not saying that our crew is not capable of doing things, but people are people. They have bills to pay. At the end of the day, you just pay them lousy payments. At the end, they're just gonna work. Okay lah, buat sini je lah. This is fine.
Pay peanuts, you get monkey.
Yeah. You don't expect too much from a little payment. So this is what usually happen. I think even Malbat, I don't know. There's movie in Mogadishu, that supposedly to be our version of Black Hawk Down. The budget wasn't really good enough. When I saw the budget, I know this is gonna be shit, because you can't make explosive with that amount of money. I mean, talk about costume design. Those are very expensive, and I know because I tried to make my own things, and then of course my capacity is way smaller. So we just don't write something that you can't really
Execute.
Okay, I think that's why. I think Malaysian movie are kind of like going around, But I love the fact that like movie like Mat Kilau, they got to that,
that extent,
box office. I don't know how.
That was
I think
actually,
it passed 100 million ringgit.
Yeah.
I hope with that kind of money they can plan out better something much better from the the movie that they pushed out.
Before we go further on movies, I just want to ask one more thing. Have you watched Sheriff?
I tried recently on Netflix, right? Because it was there. But
what do you think of it?
I had the opportunity to play, to press the play button, but the hook wasn't there because Netflix, they have this like preview before you actually.
Yes.
So I was watching that and the color grading is so basic, man. It's like I'm criticizing a lot. I know because I'm working in there. I've been doing this for more than 10, 12 years. Editing videos, coming up with content and whatnot. So I think I'm allowed to give my opinion, but again, I think it goes back to the budget thingy lah. If you want high quality kind of color grading, all the approach has to come before you actually go into the post production. You have to have a lot of like creative design kind of pre-production work and whatnot. So the lighting has been set even before you shoot. The principal filming is even started. So a lot of planning has to go in, and that costs a lot of money. People don't want to do that. to come up with those kind of like intricate details, kind of plans, those that they aren't really tangible kind of thing, because you do this kind of, how much you gonna spend on that? Oh, probably 20 million. No producers in Malaysia are going to do that at the moment, I think. So Sharif, no, not yet, but I hope I will watch it.
No, give it a try, like, because I watched it and
Yeah, what do you think about it?
I think it's okay.
It's not bad. It's not bad.
It's
You guys are very like,
No.
But I don't know. I haven't watched it. but
I have a
believe-
bias when I watch local movies because my benchmark is Zombie Kampung Pisang. I'm sorry.
Oh, Muhammad Khalid's.
I love the movie.
No. I think that's one of he pioneered that kind of
style.
aesthetic.
People look at me in a silly way when I say that, but I love that movie a lot. So
But honestly, I haven't really watched that
you should.
No, you should.
in its entireness. I haven't.
I think there's a uniqueness to it, last because of that whole Perak slang. I mean, that logat and all that kind of stuff. They have. I mean, it's pretty. It's unique in its own way.
I like that as well. But just didn't have the opportunity to really watch it.
It's.
Properly.
I mean, as you said, it's quite a Malay movie.
It is a Malay
but
movie, I think.
It has a tinge of Malaysian in it.
Mm-hmm.
It's, so in that sense, it's charming to me.
Which is nice. I think it's good that you shared that, because I think your audience bound to be non-Malay, so they might it might trigger them to like, let's watch that movie. I don't know where they can find it, but
Yeah,
I think Prakash mentioned this once before in one of our previous episodes that he actually enjoyed Zombie Kampung Pisang. We had one episode where we were just talking about movies that we like, and this is one of the movies that he pointed out. And speaking of movies and everything and content, you just said something about content, right? Let's just like slightly navigate away from that, right? You were doing editing videos and stuff like that, and all this kind of stuff. So it somehow curtails back to what were you doing in the past, with especially Malaysian Riders. I think that's one of the things that I think it's your brainchild, right?
Yeah,
Basically,
it is.
right?
passion project.
it is a passion-driven project, and
Then just talk about. Just say. Now looking back at what you've done with Malaysian Riders, just like give like a bit of a backstory and what do you feel about it right now?
Well, I never really liked motorcycle when I was young. My dad always teased me that, one day you're gonna want a bike, and no, I don't want it. I feel like motorcycle is something like a low class thing. When I was younger, much younger, but
Capsize.
yeah. But now I own one. I rode it every day. But the reason why it started is because I was on the other side. I was the consumer. I like everyone else. We want to buy a car, a motorbike. So you look online for information. That's around 2011 to 2012. Like the really beginning of YouTube in Malaysia, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So, yeah, all the things that I saw online was always coming from, the Brits, the Americans.
Mostly the West,
they serve a lot of like good content, especially with the BBC Top Gear. And I fell in love with that kind of concept of like, this is how they present information about cars, which is quite a mundane kind of thing if you talk about everyday cars, like say Myvi or Kancil or whatever, So, but the way the three presenters are showing or presenting about this information is always entertaining, and there's a certain style that I really love to like. Wow, it's just amazing, So I was doing that, and obviously Malaysian are not really keen on doing TV or video production at the time. We have a lot of magazines and newspaper for bike reviews or car reviews. So I figured when I bought one, I wanted to try my skill. Okay, let me see if I can do something close to what a BBC Top Gear production can do, which I started with my own bike. And then it kind of like becomes like a light bulb moment. Bling, okay, I can do this probably. I can do this probably for a living. But I'm just guessing because I was working with, I think it was a telco company at the time. And during that time, I think I spoke to a friend. I think he was the co-founder of Malaysian Riders.
Okay.
I was just one of the guy, and we spoke about, hey, can we do this? Let's try, because you got friends who have cool bikes, and I could just shoot. I just want to shoot and edit and make a content out of it. Yeah, we go on with that kind of idea, and then I started with my blogging, writing about news coming from overseas, because I have no contacts in the industry at all.
Right.
So I just browse around and look at whatever things that I can just rewrite, and I rewrote those things in the blog, which is, I think back then it was malaysianriders.wordpress.com.
All right.
Okay.
So, and then things started to get serious, because I think if anyone who knows me well, I tend to be very passionate on the subject or the things that I'm working on. Okay. It could be anything, but I just, okay, let's do this like for real, because if you plan it correctly, maybe we can make something out of it. So things like that. And then, I just shoot my luck by DMing again. Same story with you. I'm DMing this one of the brand. I should say the brand is Modenas. Yeah, our national
bike.
They just
bike.
rebranded, by the way, right?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Which is terrible. But no, I think I wrote to them asking that, can I come to your event, because I know there will be a launch, Modenas Ace 115. So I still remember exactly what model was it. But I just wrote to them, and then surprisingly, they replied. They replied and said, "Yeah, please come." And then, that was my first ever media attendance as a media to a motoring event. So I was still working at the time, and then it just exploded from there, because you publish one video after another, and things get, sometimes it goes up, and then this thing like explode, probably, like, if that's the right way to say it. One of the video hit 100,000 views, which to me at that time is like 1 million views. So I was like, wow. Again, another light bulb moment. I can really make money out of this. Like,
For us right now, 1K is like a 1 million.
you'll get there, I think. Probably just bring in some good, attractive looking lady. I think that would be.
Maya
But
Kevin.
anyway, the subject has to be right as well. But anyway, from there, it just goes on and on and on. I kept on creating contents with a lot of these great people. I call them friends, and they supported me, and then they helped a lot in terms of like coming up with this to facilitate this no budget kind of production at all. We spend no money. We just spend our own energy and time just to do whatever that we have, and then it slowly but surely, these brands or the OEMs from the industry, like I think Honda, Bunsi Honda, Yamaha, Ducati, a lot of these brands started to pay attention, and then we started to gain some traction. Some monetary, some revenue was generated. And then I quit my job, and then the rest is history. I think it's still on right now, and I expanded to, I think I expanded to Drivin On, another brand that we created
For cars.
for cars. Yeah, basically just for cars, just to like
They have sections
separate
where-
things around, not to try to be like a rojak, everything is in one,
That's
Yeah.
actually a good
But it's
idea.
still ongoing. It's a pretty tough industry to be in, actually. Yeah. So there's
How
a
is it
lot of
tough?
things to do.
How is it?
Financially, it's very tough.
okay, right.
Financially, it's very, very tough. It's a small piece of cake. Malaysia motoring industry itself is very small, and then you dig down into this automotive media industry. That's very, very niche. So a lot of good people, a lot of very experienced journalists and automotive players, these experienced people are already there before I was even here, 10, 20 years ahead of me. So they know people, they have better contacts and networking and whatnot. Those really get you far and secure your projects that can really pay the entire operations and whatnot. So things are very tough. So, but then again, you have to, I think the key is always to be consistent and persistent as well. Or aka stupid, just keep on doing things even though it doesn't bring you any kind of like money, like solid amount of money.
In a way, consistency.
Consistency, yeah.
So you're talking about bikes. You didn't want to ride bikes and all that. You ended up racing bikes as well, right? How did that happen?
Once upon a time.
Yeah.
How did that happen? I think...
Your father come and said something, is it?
No. No, I think like when I mentioned that I don't really like motorcycle, the reason I said that because I really like Formula One.
So do I.
When I was like 7, 8 years old, I think 1998 or 1999 when Sepang Formula One was
that's when it opened.
Started. I fell in love with the sports, without even going to the track, and I just wow, this is amazing. Always loved the idea of me being a racer, but never had the money and the push from the family to go into that. And how I eventually get into racing is because in automotive media, I have to at least spend a long time to be recognized as someone who has like the, how should I say, the weight in terms, to be able to say something about a motorcycle, you have to have some sort of like pedigree in terms of what do you know about it. People are always being nasty. Hey, let this guy. And apa ni? And
what you know, you only ride kapcai.
And then you only own a small bike. I've constantly had that in the period of time that I wasn't really racing. But luckily enough, I got very quick because I started riding in 2010. I bought my first bike. I learned. I don't want to go in. Can I? I don't know.
No, go ahead.
I learned how to ride a motorbike from YouTube.
Okay.
So I never had any kind of experience riding a motorbike, and I just learned on how the hell do I operate. Do not ever do this. This is very wrong. On how to learn motorbike. You should learn from someone who is certified to do so. But yeah, I learned from YouTube. And I just gambled to buy the first bike, which is a Kawasaki RR150. I don't know. I forgot the name, but yeah, it's a clutch bike. So I learned from there, and then going into that kind of thingy, like a scene, because at that particular point there wasn't a lot of people who owns or have that kind of bike, and then we form a group. Biking group and whatnot.
This biking group, all of them learn from YouTube ke macam mana?
No. No, most of them are very well experienced. But that's where I was lucky because they introduced me to the right path. They brought me to the track, and I think not long after that, I think when around 6 months into my riding experience, I get into my first track day in Sepang. And then, like I said, my interest in racing has always been there, and now I see that there's a way to be in the circuit without having to go into like formula kind of car, which is ridiculously expensive. And with my own motorbike, I can do so, and it looks way cooler with a racing suit and full face helmet and whatnot. So I get into that, and then I spend time to like honing my skill. And I got like, again, I got to expand my network, relationship with people, like even with the sponsors and everything. And then eventually I built up this case where it puts me into the position where I am able to race to one point that I didn't spend any single cent because I was sponsored or given this right. I can race, but I never really been paid to race. Those are like fully professional. I would consider myself like a semi-professional, or because I was already working in the industry of automotive media, so I was like,
But you were privy to the racing circuits and the industry itself.
yeah.
Why? I mean, yes, we have the races that you have gone to and all that. But what about the bigger ones? Like, we don't have presence, although we have the tracks, right? But you talk about the bigger MotoGP races, for example. We don't really have a presence in that, right?
Actually, we do. But we are not
Prominent.
Yeah, we're not a prominent
Not very prominent, yeah.
key.
Because even in F1, we are not exactly prominent.
Oh, we
right?
never.
Yeah. We had
except for
Alex Young.
Petronas being our the
Petronas,
title
but
sponsor.
as a racer, I guess we only had Alex Young, right?
Alex Young, and then Fairuz Fauzi was
Fairuz
there,
Fauzi,
but he was only about to
very
be a
short
test
period.
driver.
Yeah, test driver.
Because it's very expensive. If you can bankroll your way into the hot seat of like either the first driver or the second driver, then you can do it.
But this really interested me because I remember back in 1 or 2 episodes back, we were talking about YouTube and the effect it has. I mentioned YouTube was like my father figure. I mentioned that because I think YouTube was like my father.
He learned a lot of stuff from YouTube.
So, I mean,
You're not alone in that. A lot of us are.
So when you mentioned that you actually picked up a clutch bike and you just based on it on YouTube.
People don't do that.
Don't try this at home, kids.
Don't even try. I don't know why I did that, but to my defense, I just learned the mechanics of how it's being operated. But then I asked a few of my friends to like, hey, can I like borrow your bike? I just want to ride around this parking lot and I just want to get to know whether I am able. Because I already put my down payment or whatever. I already bought the bike before I even tried to ride any with a clutch.
Right.
So I figured that I can do it because I can ride a bicycle, So
you're halfway there.
Yeah, pretty much there. But then again, I do a lot of like not a lot, but a few times of practice, and then eventually on the day of the bike delivery, like I have to go to the showroom, the
ride it
rails,
home.
Like, this is it.
But you had a license already, right?
Yeah, L.
Good enough.
Good enough, yeah. But then again, you need to do something, I think getting out of the comfort zone again is if you are to take something from this, get out of your comfort zone.
Being
and
comfortable
try and do it. Not just try, just do it. Like, do it right. Don't just do it like I'm trying, but do it right.
Okay, at the end of
Have
the day,
the confidence.
At the end, you're gonna end it in a very positive note, like again. But
let's try to like pull it back in,
Okay.
And I guess all of this led you to Proton.
Oh yeah. No, but that is not really that immediate. It's like ups and downs, going through a lot of things and honing my skill in terms of my the person that I am. If you open my LinkedIn, this guy's a creative and marketing kind of guy. So that's who I am, and has always been at the core of my personality. I think starting with even meeting you up, I wanted to do something creative. I wanted to create contents, even movies and whatnot. Eventually, marketing is something that is
comes with it.
It's just something that you can just marketing is good. I just go in there and
it's broad as well.
Because it's broad, and I think as the technology advances in a lot of like this social media thingy, and I think I'm blessed to be in the betweener kind of phase where not a lot of people can call themselves as an expert at that particular time. And then I'm not calling myself an expert, but I think I'm pretty good at what I'm doing, and I'm pretty experienced because I've spent a lot of times doing it with Malaysian Riders and whatnot. And then eventually, after going through different kind of phase of my career, I landed the job with Proton. So I'm blessed with that. I think.
Were you with Proton before Gili or after?
Right, definitely after.
After Gili.
I'm very new with the brand.
I see.
Oh, okay. So like example, like now when you're with Proton and it's like a local brand, right? I guess many of us still have that kind of like a perception, like, oh, local brands, I'm still like was. But then again, for an example, maybe I'm shitting on people here, maybe I'm not. But I mean, they might consider buying a Sherry Omoda, for an example. I don't know. I'm like, okay, I'm going to spend on that. Example, it's like 90k plus. Okay lah, okay. Nampak futuristic, nampak high tech, design dia menarik. Something like that. Right? People have that perception, right? And then when you present a local brand, they might have a very differing opinion to it. Like, so for you, who's working with a brand like Proton, how do you look at this type of reactions and
I'm annoyed.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm annoyed as because that's part of my job. To constantly monitor what people talk about on online. It can be a bit depressing sometimes. If you really I don't know, if you really like get into it, get too personal about it, and you I think you'll get some sort of things.
Do people still
on.
make fun of the power windows?
Not really nowadays.
Okay,
there's always something else that you can make fun of, But anyway, it's very difficult to be in the position of where I am right now to see our fellow Malaysian, especially, criticizing our own brand without thinking that, hey, come on, we are working on it. They are working on it as a brand. If I'm not even part of the company, I would say just they are working on it. We can see it.
Yeah.
But of course, they're missing some of the points or some of the target here and there. But things are never easy because this has never been. Proton was initiated as a way to industrialize our country.
yes.
It wasn't created by Ahmad Proton or something. Like Ferrari is being created by this guy named Ferrari, and Toyota and whatnot. They are collective people who came in together with a certain set of skill set and vision to produce a car. Whereas our Prime Minister saying, let's do something about our country and let's industrialize it through the automotive industry. Let's call some people, and this is, I'm just putting it blunt, making it as simple words, but we never started as a passion project, as Malaysian Riders was, but no, plug, but no, the brand was never started because of a passion within somebody. It was an idea, and then it was when you at the very top, people, the number one person in the country said, I wanted to do this. A lot of people around will definitely, yeah, that's a good idea. Boss, betul boss, let's do that. So it just get into, fall into places, and eventually you can make things happen when you have money and when you have the power to
The will to do it.
Not the will, but I think the power to
Execute.
to
make things
to make things
move.
happen. So eventually it happened, and it goes. But it is impressive going through, like, now we've passed 40 years of existence. Okay, Proton is now this year will be 41 years. So it's quite impressive to be able to withstand a lot of, like, economy issues and all this stuff going on politically and whatnot, things and here and there. And they were in bad shape previously, and then with the new collaboration venture with Geely, it kind of like revived the company back. But we are now focusing on fixing our trajectory. And if I can share what I know, it will be something wonderful for the Malaysian as you go forward, because we are going global. We're trying to penetrate a lot of this export market out there, and so seeing people criticizing your brand constantly without even thinking there are people who are working in there, and it's quite sad, but it is the reality that we have to face. As a company, as a
there will always be criticism.
there's always going to be people who just don't agree with you. So it's your job, it's our job to make it right, or to make it at least worthy for people to reconsider, something.
Yeah. There's no perfect brand, lah, to be fair, except Honda. But
Wow. What just happened?
but no, but honestly, I mean, nothing is going to be perfect. Lah. People can criticize, but sometimes it does get out of hand. Lah. It does get ridiculous a bit. Lah. Yeah, I've seen it, so yeah.
Fanatism or this kind of thing is really heavy. People in Malaysia, I think our culture is always been like that. Has always been like that. We are not Japanese, man. We tend to like always support brands or figures or these personalities from outside of Malaysia. If Malaysian do it, you always have that tendency. I mean, Malaysian in general have that tendency to like overly criticizing your own people. That to me is a constant thing. Even when I'm doing this Malaysian Riders Drivin On thingy, and then doing my own racing and whatnot, there's always somebody.
The YouTube comments must be quite.
Like I said, if you really like get into that, you probably felt depressed or whatnot. But people are just people. They are stupid.
In terms of culture, you went to Johannesburg, you worked there, you just showed us your promotional video for your Proton and all that. How's their culture there? With their reaction to Proton?
South African, if you say, I say they're one of the liveliest people. Like very, as a culture, they are very friendly. And they're very welcoming, warm at the same time. So they always have this cheerful notes when they speak to others, and even to strangers. Over here in Malaysia, we just walk and then we just buat tak tahu je kan.
Siapa ni?
Lagi kalau lain bangsa, it's like
that separation is getting a bit
over
bad.
there. Of course, racism is like
it's everywhere.
That's the pinnacle
that's everywhere.
of it.
That's everywhere.
But over there, when I was there, people are generally nice. They're always like greetings you all the time. Saying hello, good morning, and whatnot, and everywhere. To the point sometimes it gets too friendly. So, but then again, their culture is like. Is a bit more a mixed up of a lot of different cultural background. I think they took a lot of American culture and then also some of the European culture into them. And so, it becomes South African. I don't know. And of course, being Africans kind of local or indigenous kind of thing. So they mix it up and it becomes something that's you cannot find those anywhere outside of that particular region. But South Africa in general is a colorful and lively place to go and visit if you want to. But the crime rate is a bit.
I once had a layover in Johannesburg.
Poverty, if a government can't really balance those things out, right? It tends to happen, This can happen anywhere, It's not just.
I heard Johannesburg is the most crime-ridden compared to like Cape Town and all that.
Any experiences? Any experiences there? Like
I did have a few scary moments when I went out hiking alone, which is a stupid thing to do. A lot of people said in the review, please do not go alone. Please do not go alone.
Juga.
Because I was alone. I have no choice, But. Yeah, I had the choice to just stay in, but I wanted to do something and I wanted to explore. But nothing really to the point that I got mugged or anything. It's just a scary moment because I saw this guy waiting from, I saw him from afar and he was like smoking cigarette and it was like probably close to 0 degree because I was there in winter. And who the hell stand outside in the hiking trail just for smoke? It just doesn't make any sense to me. So I was like hiding behind a bush and trying to figure out, should I go forward or just? Eventually I just turned around and ran. I dashed and literally ran back to my car and then go. I just don't want to figure out or find out what that guy intention is, trying to be safe. But when I walked around in Johannesburg or in their CBD, It was pretty, not really scary, but you're like a fly in a bunch of, you stand out. That guy is not South African.
Yeah.
So I know people are looking, but they just look. So if you don't really mind people, but be aware.
Yeah, of course.
So I would say that it's pretty okay to walk around, but just don't go to those sketchy area.
Yeah,
lah,
yeah.
Don't
Just know
don't,
where
don't
you're
be too stupid
going.
like Chalam Chitantu and what is that? Figure out, and of course you die.
Yeah. But I mean, if I'm not mistaken, Nando's is from South Africa. Right?
Oh yeah,
But how's the Nando's there?
amazing. That's the only amazing tasting food that I can say about South African, because over there their taste bud is totally different. Malaysian
Yes.
are so much better. Sorry, South African, but if you're watching this, but I hope you do. But yeah,
That'll be good for us.
their ingredients are totally different, lah. Their KFCs are different. Their McDonald's are different.
Yes,
I try every single.
I tried the KFC
possible.
in Cape Town. Yeah, I
Yeah,
tried. It's
so
different.
it's not really up to our standard.
Because I remember when Nando's was coming into the Malaysian market, right? I think they came with their flavor lah. Macam dia orang punya style of coming up with their food. I think it took a while for them to put a mark here, I guess, because they had to do a lot of R&D as far as I know.
I think they have definitely have any kind of product or brand, even for Proton, right? If you go to a different export market, you have to tweak
adjust.
it according to the local regulations
Yeah.
and
You have to follow the
requirements.
local flavor.
So of course for food, they have to do the same as well.
I mean,
I'm guessing it's pretty much
Family Mart has Tom
straightforward,
Yum Modern. You can't find that in Japan.
Yeah, definitely it's not there.
Then in that case, right, if you let's say talking about Proton being in South Africa, so in terms of their products, I mean their vehicles and whatnot, do they have certain specifics? Like for example, you just showed us something from X90. Like, is that something the demographics there really want, a vehicle like that?
In general, South African have almost similar kind of vehicle, I would say, preference to the Americans. They like big buckies, or they call it buckies, but it's truck, semi or whatever.
Semis, okay.
So they prefer that kind of vehicle, four-wheel drives and SUVs.
Pickups. Yeah, okay.
I'm not sure if you are aware, but SUVs market globally is bigger
Yeah, it's actually
than
right.
ever it has ever been. So that's the preference. That's why we kind of launch all of our X series over in South Africa. And yeah, they of course there are some requirement or some things that we need to tweak on our car, just to make sure that it's sellable over there. Nothing major. It's almost a lot of Malaysian, I would say, have this assumption that Proton cars yang export to any of the export markets should be better specs than us in Malaysia. That's what I heard previously.
Yeah, it's quite common. Everyone
It's
says
quite-
this. Yeah.
But it's actually not. It's actually a bit lower sometimes, if not more, because certain market has different requirement and even their petrol is different. We have very good petrol quality. Over, for example, I went to Mozambique as well. Their petrol quality is totally different. Their standard is 92.
Oh, okay.
So you wouldn't get this fuel consumption efficiency the same way that we have here in Malaysia, because our standards is 95.
95, yeah.
So yeah, that's just one thing. That's why the works that our engineers are doing over at Proton is actually a lot of things that has been done to make sure that the car is not just sellable, but it's competitively reliable against those bigger, larger brands such as Toyota, Kia, and whatnot. They produce like 10 times or 20 times or 100 times more cars than us throughout their existence.
Yeah. I think another, I'm trying to understand like some of the local mindsets here, right? For example, when we see like Toyotas and Hondas and stuff like that, sometimes the needs of these consumers are pretty simple actually. They're not CarPlay, Android Auto, I mean, this is one of the things that they mention, can. And then when they
But
put,
it's coming. It is coming.
but they put as a comparison to say for a Proton, for example. Like example now, I think now X70
The MC2 one, the latest one.
the newly recent one has Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. So on a product standpoint, on a brand standpoint, do you guys feel that all the efforts that you guys put behind the scenes, like into creating the perfect machine, sometimes do you feel like it defeats the purpose when you see the consumers, especially local people here, they're like, aku nak kereta yang ada Android Auto, barulah senang, tak payah nak mount semua, leceh lah. So how do you guys react to that, and how do you guys respond to that?
Well, we are all human juga within the Proton family. We understand that, and we also have that kind of like desire to make things happen, to change things on our cars. But it's not as simple as that. You are talking about having hardware being not just reprogrammed. It has to be like really made to suit that kind of applications and softwares. And then you're talking about licenses and whatnot with the service providers, especially like with this larger group of tech company. It's not simple. We spend a lot of money to improve on this upcoming or this newly launched 70. Which now has the capability of the Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. I'm happy to say that. But because we understand the market's desire to have that kind of things. Those are just gadgets, but from within the company itself, we are working very hard to try to address that. We go back and forth, not just within, not with myself and with my boss, but with our suppliers, with our parent company. We try to justify things and here and there. But at the end of the day, it's business.
Yeah,
money really dictate how fast and which direction you can go. It's not as simple as I wanted Apple CarPlay. Let's install lah.
They look at the ROI also.
You have, because we spend hundreds and hundreds of millions ringgit just to enable new features on our cars. And now we are starting, like I said, we are looking at global expansion and whatnot. So now we are working very, very hard to ensure that the car has the capability to be on the same level with all the other global brands. So we are also frustrated with not being able to have those kind of features on our car. But it is what it is. You just have to work around and see what else that you can offer. But there's plenty of things that you can offer, because nobody. We are selling a kind of like good quality or high quality kind of product at a very entry level kind
affordable
of pricing,
price.
But nowadays affordable are in the hundreds of thousands. So don't assume that your car you want something like a Mercedes, but you want to pay 100,000 ringgit. Wait, apa ni kan? It doesn't make any sense.
Even Mercedes are not perfect, to be honest.
But I've driven a lot of other brands and cars. I've driven a Porsche as well. So it's just a car. At the end of the day, it's just a car. So what serve your
needs?
Needs. That's what you can get, and what you can afford. That's what you can look into. Just don't be nasty about Proton. But
Then
of course I have a bias for Proton right now. Yeah.
But then another thing, just touch. I mean, since we are talking about Proton and all that, just touch on that E.MAS thing. Am I pronouncing correctly? It's E.MAS, right?
E.MAS, yeah.
So what's in store? Like, I mean, like, is there like another like a long
future plan of it? Yeah, definitely. The plan with our electric car or electric vehicles are pretty much solid, according to our parent companies and the work that our engineers and the people within Proton and all the ecosystem are working towards. The future plan is looking far up to 2030 with lineups of a lot of EVs and as you expect, we have to be in there. We will be very soon with the first vehicle that we just announced. Basically, it's just another pathway that Proton will be in for its future, apart from its ICE, the internal combustion engine kind of product. So, yeah, we are expanding towards that with the target of being accessible to the Malaysian and of course to the rest of the world.
Is there a challenge? Like, for example, when you talk about EVs, you're looking at the 100,000 bracket. I mean, the price range is almost there. I think the most affordable
It's not just
one.
that, also the proliferation of the Chinese brands that are coming in.
Yes.
So many of them. Yeah.
Exactly. And I think more or less, if I'm not mistaken, is it Dolphin the cheapest one now? I'm not so sure.
BYD.
I mean,
Either Dolphin or Neta, one of them. One of those.
yeah, one of those cars. So
I lost track of those.
yeah, and in terms of that, right? Do you guys feel that I need to produce something that's affordable because I'm looking at China coming up with cars like sub price of the range is like 90, 80,000, and then when you launch EV, Proton, please don't attack me lah. I mean, for example, as tiba-tiba you come up with a car example.
You can sponsor this and that.
Yeah, but let's say you come up with a vehicle and then E.MAS, the first one is like 120,000. Are you guys like well prepared? Example, I'm just throwing numbers here. I may be wrong, but are you guys like well prepared for that? Because like it or not, I can share with your sentiments. I feel Malaysian consumers more or less they suka mengkritik most of the time, and then when you launch something, and then they might be doing all this. So how do you guys anticipate that? Do you guys have like a anticipation for that thing?
Is a very good question, which I really want to ask my boss as well. I don't know, not my boss lah, but the team that is closely working on the project. Because I'm not. So I wouldn't say anything on behalf, but I would say we can't make everyone happy.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's number one. Again, it's a business. Without the proper amount of capital to kickstart a project, you can't really play around with these numbers too much. We are talking about the cost of making these cars are not really that cheap. Anyway, but we are very fortunate and we are very happy to be working closely with these giants in terms of automotive, like Geely in electric vehicle and other subsidiaries that he has. So, we understand the challenge is going to be pricing, as always. Even Tesla is facing that coming from this Chinese brand. So, the most important part to me is in how to position your brand and how to ensure that it's not just you are selling one product; it's you are selling a solution and a promise that you are being part of a family, of a community that you can enjoy to be in. Because let's look into Apple, for example.
That's an
Apple as a
ecosystem
brand
there,
has been very consistent with its pricing, with its product development. Although some people are bashing them. You guys just have Abarun Adani, and then Android has been using that technology for a long time, but still people are buying. They're still one of, if not one of the best device, most sold device in the world. So meaning what? It's just a matter of how you position yourself as a brand, and then how do you even strategize in terms of putting your product within the target demographic that you have, and then you build up your community and then your fans from there. We don't need to be easily, when you rise too fast, you eventually fall even faster. I think so. We are doing well in terms of numbers as we are growing. We are constantly facing these challenges of new brands, new products coming in and whatnot. So it is what it is. It's a business. Yeah. So I think the way that we are looking at it is just how are we going to overcome these challenges with the way we communicate and we serve our customers and our fans, those who appreciate our brands. They are much more important to us rather than those who are constantly hating us. We are not. It's very difficult to change a person's mindset. But it's much more easier to take care for those who already love you. or really care about your product.
Yes.
So we're gonna do that. We're gonna constantly make that as our number one focus. Eventually, when we have the right product with the right amount of like I said, capital to generate better project with the end game being a much entry level kind of product or cars. Eventually, you'll speak to everybody. I think, but it's a progress. It's a long progress.
Bring
process.
back the Putra with the E.MAS engine.
Yeah.
By the way, he used to have a Satya and it's very proud. of it.
Cool, man.
Yeah, but I love the Putra a lot.
A lot of people do, and it's kind of like our performance car kind of thing. And
Yes.
but again, it's
Take
we have
the
to look
hint,
forward.
Proton, come on.
We have to look forward.
That E.MAS, done.
Putra E.MAS, Android Auto, and Apple CarPlay.
Yeah, Android Auto.
It's a good question that we want to ask. Okay, once we already have all those things, would you buy our car? Definitely straight away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. There will be a lot of
Tapi
people.
then the answer will be like this lah. Tapi kita lagi satu ada lambang H. Kita nak lambang H.
So it's a process.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a
I think,
process.
actually, if we start talking, I think with you, I think we can keep going on and on.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, no,
it's very fun. It's
That's
very-
the best
it's
thing.
very
That's
nice.
the best thing
Yeah.
about this. And I think we have a lot of questions, but I don't know, maybe we can expand this further. Let's look at how things develop. And aside to that, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for
this
having me.
episode. Yeah, and then hopefully maybe I can be your watak utama in your short film someday.
Okay, we can have a chat after this outside. Let's make that happen. I think that's a future project that we have to make it.
Yeah, I think we talked about it a couple of times, but not to say that, hey, please hire me, I'm an actor. I mean, for you, I'll do it. I'm playing on camera now. For you, I'll do it. Okay.
Cool, man. For free.
That'd be a very good side character.
All right.
So, in saying all that, if you have listened to this podcast until this long, and if you've listened to it, thank you so much for your participation in listening to all of us. And as always, please follow us on our socials and also on our YouTube platform. And yes, if you have any questions regarding this episode, past episodes, or anything else, you have any questions regarding the both of us, or even with Rashidi, you can always email us at vandukadinga@gmail.com.
We'll put it on the screen.
Yeah, I won't spell it out anymore. And in case people want to know, I'll just say it anyways, because I think some people might want to know. Vandukadinga, what does that mean? Essentially, it means bite me.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's
Interesting.
So that's the actual meaning of
We
that.
are prepared for the bad comments. So
Yeah, so we
came prepared.
So thank you so much for your time, and hoping to see you for the next episode again.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.